How the hell do you even sign up for a job to be a professional negotiator?
How does the culture of other countries play a part in negotiation? Does that play a
That's
very
a great
big
question.
role?
That's a great question. Absolutely it does. Yeah, Japan's a great example. I remember when I was in the security world and there was a hijacking in Malaysia. It was a Japanese company that was affected. The stuff that was stolen, it was out of Malaysia on a ship like 12 hours after it was hijacked. So they had paid off port people and snuck this container on a ship. And like 48 hours later after it was stolen, it was on shelves in Shenzhen for sale.
What?
Yeah, it was wild. And I'm in this giant boardroom with this Japanese chairman and a couple of the staff, and the silence in the room. You drop the price, you start giving stuff away because you think that you're being rejected, but it's not. It's just their culture of negotiating is to utilize silence, and they're very comfortable sitting in it, and most people are not. I grew up in this small town in Oklahoma in the States.
Yep.
And the population was like roughly 1,000 people or something like that.
Wow.
And it was amazing.
Everybody know everybody.
Everybody, literally, if like any parent could discipline you.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like it was just, it was a like raised by a village thing. It was great. Single mom who is a legend and the coolest person I know to this day. It was a great way to grow up. But I knew from quite young, like I'm out of here the moment I legally can get out of here. So I left right when I turned 18.
Do you still know people that grew up with you that are still there?
They're all still there.
What?
Yeah, I'm pretty much the one who left.
But how do you like kind of escape out of that mentality?
I give it to my mom. My mom was, it was a very traditional, conservative place to grow up.
Yeah, there wasn't much influence of internet back then, right? So
No.
everything you find out and you decide for yourself.
We had America Online. We came in when I was in high school, and you put the CD in and you dial up and ASL, but my mom she's just super open-minded and very, very supportive and encouraging to just do whatever you want to do. So I had a kind of a different upbringing than everyone else because of her influence. So, and I just knew the traditional route, just stay there, go to local university, marry the high school sweetheart, and stay here forever. It just wasn't for me. I just knew.
What's the typical career there, Oklahoma?
Like my best friend growing up built a ranch.
Oh.
Yeah. The local factories, or you drive into the bigger city. I mean, bigger city, it's like a couple 100,000 people, hour away, and you work somewhere there. Some retail jobs. There's not a lot of booming industry there at the moment. It's an old oil money place. So a lot of old money there, but there's no tech startups taking the scene over in the area. So super conservative. Like it's still very much like it was when I left it to this day.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird.
Then after that, once you left, what's your new adventure? What's your first adventure that you proceed to pursue?
So I went to.
I wouldn't even say job. I would say adventure.
Yeah, it was. I went to Tennessee, to Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to university. I wasn't. It was never really a plan.
Right.
I just wanted to get out and had some.
Back then probably wasn't a good decision, but right now with AI, going to university is not even a thing, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And it was controversial not to go. And but I was a terrible student. To this day, I'm a terrible student. If I'm into something, I'm obsessed about it. If I'm not into it, I just cannot pay attention. And I knew that. And I knew deep down, this, I will never make it in university. Right. So just kind of fumbled my way around, got a job. And then, that job led to another job. And then I kind of always wanted to be a cop, wanted to go in law enforcement, wanted to go to the CIA someday without a degree, not very well thought out. But I got a private security job in Nashville.
In Singapore, NS, right? Is there a sign on for?
Yeah.
But why not that route?
I don't really like being told what to do.
Or too regimental.
Yeah. And just was. I never even really considered it. Right. But a lot of my friends did. A lot did it.
Stable, good.
Stable, yeah. It pay for your school, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But then you get shipped off to war.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a little different from here. There's a high probability of some sort of conflict if you're in the military.
Yeah. I mean, I heard that a lot of the soldiers, they get sent off Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan as just deployment, so that they just guard the base there, and sometimes he can get killed because the Taliban just wants to kill you.
Yeah. It's not.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so you guys actually face actual combat.
Yeah.
Not like us here where we just sit around and play.
Role play.
Role players as soldiers.
Yeah. I had friends who, same class as me, who, they went to war twice in the military, and they did the same thing. Oh, you sign up when you're young, and then we'll pay for your university, and then all this. Oh, cool, I'll do it. I'll get this grant, and then next thing, okay, you done? Come here. And then, yeah, here's your gun, here's your helmet. You know what to do. Do I?
Yeah.
And then you're off. So wasn't interested.
Damn, ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty scary. Then did you actually become a cop?
So I applied and got accepted to a small town police force just outside of Nashville. But the police academy, the next class was starting in 3 months or 6 months from then, and I had nothing to do. So their options were like, come and be a dispatch officer, like work in the radio station, and
Yeah. 911.
yeah, and then there was Dell Computers was opening their first factory and kind of offices outside of where they were headquartered in Austin, and they chose this small town I was in. And I heard they were hiring security folks, private security folks, and they were paying way better. It was like a big thing. A tech company comes in, and I got a job there. And I met my mentor. He's to this day is my mentor. I didn't have a dad around growing up, so he was the most important man. I mean, he changed my life. I named my firstborn after him. That's how big this guy was in my life. Yeah. So I'm this
that's some Simba.
yeah,
level.
he really this guy. He's the man, and he was my boss's boss, right?
In the cop, the security, the private security.
Yeah, and he was like head of global security. So he was working with the founder of Dell Computers, Michael Dell, and the family, and protecting him and houses and property, and plus all the cargo and factories and thousands of employees. Like, he was a big job, and he I don't know, he just chose me. Like, one day he came in and he's like wearing pinstripe suits and looked like $1 million. Yeah, and like he walks in and I'm like this chubby guy in a security guard uniform with my pager up on the little lapel thing, and like with a bad mustache and cop haircut, just real bad. And he pulls me aside and he goes, I hear you want to go to law enforcement after this. And I go, yes, sir. And he goes, I would like you to break bread with me this week.
What does that mean? What's
Yeah. I was like, break bread. Okay. Like, all right. Is he Moses or something? I don't know. But I did. And he told me, he was like, listen, he goes, law enforcement. He goes, I'm a retired police chief. And he was the first African-American, like lieutenant or above or captain in the state where he was from. And he, did all kinds of crazy work and faced in his era all kinds of crazy challenges because he was black. And he was like, it's a noble profession, and it's the world needs it, but I don't want you to do it. And I was like, what do you mean? And he goes, you have a thing, and I know this thing when I see it, and I want you to come stay in the private sector with me. No one's going to shoot at you. You won't have 7 divorces like all other cops. You won't get hemorrhoids from being in a patrol car all day long, and you're going to make a lot more money. And I just hitched my wagon to him for the next few years. And then over the next few years, I'm like 19, 20, and I had like 100 staff. And they all were like ex-military and ex-this and, serious people. And then I'm this kid who this guy just gave all this autonomy to, and he just kept kicking doors down for me. And then I got promoted and moved to the headquarters in Austin, Texas. And then I had like hundreds of employees. And
he just straight away put you in charge of everybody.
he just slowly, just one thing at a time, and it was a booming operation, and he really believed in me, really bagged me. So now I'm in Austin, Texas, just and I'm in this crazy world, and I'm complete imposter syndrome. I'm just faking it every day, speaking confidently but not, and making tons of mistakes along the way. And then I meet these crazy Irish guys, and they're like they're all like ex-special forces in Ireland, and they had
Your
this.
men.
Yeah. They had they weren't. They were another company. They were based out of Dublin, and they were helping the same company deal with hijackings and all these problems in Europe. And there was a small little specially private team, and I got a call, and they were like, "Can you meet the CEO?" And I'm like, oh, "Okay, sure." And it was my wedding day. And I was like putting a tux on. I was like, I'm a little busy right now. And he was like, cool. Can you come tomorrow to Mexico City? Because I can't meet you. I need to meet you today or tomorrow. I was like, you mean to fly to Mexico the day after my wedding?
To meet a bunch of Irish people in Mexico.
And so I go, and I didn't have a passport at the time. I never left the country. But back then,
that's actually quite common among
especially small town. Like, and so back then, you could go to Mexico. This is pre 9/11, right? With like an IC and a birth certificate.
You're like what, 25?
No, I was like 20. I was 21 or 22.
Dude, like your 19 to 21 is like
it was wild.
A lot of shit happening.
A lot, yeah. And so I meet this crazy Irish guy, and we have lunch in Mexico City. And he's wild. He's just fearless, and he's walking around like neighborhoods in Mexico City, and it was not the safest place to be. And we're going to this place, and we're drinking all day. No interview. No, I'm like,
what's happening?
Yeah, and I knew there was these they were expanding and they were trying to come to America, and so I knew he wanted me to come to work for him. But I thought it was going to be in New York or California. And after like 6 hours of day drinking, he goes, "Oh, so listen, by the way, this job is in Malaysia," and I was like, "What the fuck is in Malaysia?"
Whoa.
I was like,
wait. So you know this guy because he's also protecting
in industry, yeah,
in the Europe sector,
yeah.
Oh,
and
sister company, kind of,
and I'm like, Malaysia, and he was like, yeah. He goes, it's a 2-year assignment. Go there for 2 years, and then come back, and we'll put you in a station here somewhere in the States. But we need somebody, and we've been watching you. We keep hearing about you, so we want you to be. I was like, I see you guys are all Rangers, Irish Rangers, like special forces. Blah, blah, blah. And that's the whole company. He's like, yeah, there's like 9 of us and me. And he was like, yeah. And I was like,
what, you the admin guy or something?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, okay. Like, and then 3 months later, my brand new wife and I packed up our suitcases. We'd never been to Asia. First we got passports.
Okay, and straight away Asia.
And then we moved to Penang.
Wow.
And so it was, it was wild. Like, and so there we are. And we show up in Penang with our 4 suitcases. And some girl meets me at the airport and gives me keys to a Proton Waja, a Samsung flip phone.
What's Proton?
It's the car.
Yeah, the local Malaysian car.
Proton.
And then says, you're staying at this hotel, here's the address.
I thought it's like your assignment if you choose
exactly. And then she just disappears.
Well,
this message will self-destruct.
Yeah, and like, so I get handed these keys in this car, and I'd never driven on that side of the car before. That side of the road. Yeah. Plus, going from like Farmtown, USA, where everyone stops and goes, "Oh no, you pass. No, you go," and waves at everybody. And now I'm in Penang.
Everybody's squeezing.
It was chaos, and I'm just like white knuckling the steering wheel, going. And we finally, it took forever to actually get to this hotel, right? And so I find the place, check in. And then that started. It was supposed to be a 2-year assignment, and I'm still in Asia. Like, that was a long time ago.
Damn.
And and then that's what brought me all the way out here and got me in that space.
So security has been like a big part. But
it was bigger. Yeah, it was my whole world for.
Actually, I have a question. Then how you end up specifically in Singapore? You just finished your assignment and you just came to Singapore?
No, so when I took over the Singapore operations, we had like 6 people. The company had a small outfit there, and it was a real ragtag operation, right? It was, and I came in and took a look around, and the quality of security services in Malaysia, especially 20 odd years ago, was really bad. But there was all of these multinational major corporations putting operations there in the free trade zone for tax reasons. So Dell Computers and Intel and everybody was there. And so they would make their products in Penang, and then they would put them on a lorry and send them to either KLIA or all the way down to Singapore for air freight. Right? And then they were getting hijacked along the way, and it was bad. It was happening a lot. And these companies were losing millions of dollars a month. It was really bad. And so then this war started where they would put like a armed truck, a guy with a shotgun and flashing lights. And then these cargo gangs, the bad guys, would just come with more manpower. And they were just running these trucks off the road at parangs and like masks on and like kidnapping the drivers and taking these things out to a palm oil field somewhere, ripping the GPS off of it and stealing all the cargo. And it was happening constantly. like guys would pull into a rest stop on the north-south highway, and there was only back then there was only a few places to stop. One truck stop, one petrol station, and then just dark fields all around, right? So they would just steal the stuff there. So
like the bandit hijacking.
yeah, so that was specifically what this company was focusing on,
right?
And I got I got deeper in the industry, and we had we changed things. So we started doing something I learned from my mentor and some State Department and Secret Service guys in my time in America was to change it from like we have the force, we have the shotguns, to do we call it covert surveillance. So instead of just blindly following with this, knowing the guys just will out manpower you or outgun you, we started doing covert surveillance on cargo. So we would watch it in unmarked cars. So I got a fleet of unmarked rentals. We changed them all the time, and I trained my team to like observe from a distance. Because my thing was like, all right, Leonard, you have this. Your job is to protect this. Here's 1,000 ring in a month and a shotgun. And there's 6 guys in an old Volvo with parongs. Now you're at 3 a.m. You're at Acro rest stop in Malaysia, and you see a hijacking take place. Go. What are you going to do? You're going to get out and kill 4 guys with a shotgun? Or are you going to go like, you know what? I don't like this job. Like, you can't put someone in that position.
Yeah. What was the legal implication for like killing someone trying to steal your thing? Before they even steal it.
So they're all licensed security companies. They all have license. It's a proper thing. So you can't, so it was all like, it's hard to get a license. And it was regulated-ish in those days. And so we just switched the script. So we go, well, I don't want to put my people in danger. That's stupid to do. So what we'll do is I'll give video cameras to all my guys, and they'll just covertly watch from a distance. And and if anything happens, they just stay in the background, take detailed notes, get on the phone with our dispatch center, video camera out, get license plate numbers, get all the evidence we can, and work directly with the law enforcement task force that they had for this. And so
government more manpower.
Yeah. So then we saw a couple hijackings take place. We had a few early wins, and my guys would at a distance follow them right back to their base of operations.
Whoa.
Right. And then we would hand these cases over to law enforcement and let them be the heroes. Right. And
a win-win situation.
Yeah, exactly. And then because we had that early success, we really grew. And then we got into private security. So then we got into like protecting factories and warehouses and manpower stuff. And then it was like 4 years later, we had like almost 2,000 people in Malaysia. We were in every state in West Malaysia. And it was big. And quite frankly, I made a lot of enemies. And things got really dodgy. I had some rough experiences because I was young, naive, ballsy, and
example like what? Can you give some examples? Or is it like top secret?
Like which groups of people that pissed off you pissed off?
So person A holds a license, retired, right? He's already older, he's retired. He's not going to do a startup. So these licenses are worth a lot of money. So what he would do is he would go, I will franchise this to other people, and they would pay him a fee. And okay, I have the license for Klang, I have the license for Penang, and you would just pay the boss, 8-10% of whatever money you make, and you keep the rest. So there was no accountability, no control. So when I came in and I took all these big contracts, all these guys that had these relationships, they were pissed, and I don't know who was responsible for it, but over the course of 1 month, my business partner, who was a good friend of mine, came out of our local bar called The Torch in Penang, and a motorbike hit him from behind. And as soon as he and one of my other staff got out, people came from everywhere. Whack helmets, flashlights, torchlights, beat the hell out of them, cracked his skull, detached his retina, and didn't take anything. Wallets, phones, watches, nothing. Damn. And then I had to fly somewhere. And I had a house right on the beach in Penang, and like 15 minutes after, so I land wherever I'm going, to the States or somewhere, and then I get a phone call, and like, your house was broken into. And we're pulling the surveillance footage now because the cameras everywhere. And this guy, like 20 minutes after I left for the airport, comes up and he throws a stake over the fence. And a couple hours later, my German Shepherd was like convulsing and throwing up, and they poisoned my dog.
Oh, steak.
Yeah, like a poisoned steak. Threw it over the thing,
What
and then
the
like
hell?
hours later, my dog was dead, just dying in the corner.
It
Then
could be you.
he jumped the fence, broke in my house. All of it's on camera. Ransacked everything. Well, I went up and cut the alarm, the phone line to the alarm, removed the 3G SIM card backup thing from it, and then didn't take anything.
What the hell?
Didn't take anything. And that and a few other things started happening. And it was all, I was being sent a message. And at the same time, we had just won, somehow we miraculously won the contract to do Marina Bay Sands, the surveillance work. So we supplied them with, designed and installed the entire CCTV and access control. And it was the biggest thing we'd ever done times 10. And my wife at the time, and she's pregnant, and I'm like, yeah, you love Singapore. It's like, I have some business there. Why don't we just move?
Yeah.
And then that brought me here, and then did that contract. Spent, I was at Marina Bay Sands every day before it came out of the ground, all the way till it was completed. It was
Wow.
the hardest thing I'd ever done in my life. Probably still is.
How many years?
I mean, it was a couple of years from the time till it opened up, from the time we were there. So it was, there was 6,000 cameras or something like that. It was at the
Whoa.
time, and the hotel and all that. It was a massive contract, and I did that, and then over that time, I got really, really overweight. Because I went from like high school athlete playing sports all the time, and then now I'm this business guy. I'm traveling the world in hotels and planes, and now I'm drinking all the time, and I got fat as shit, and was hating the job. Even though it was my company, I hated it. It was just like, it went from like doing cool security work and chasing bad guys and all that to Excel spreadsheets and pitches and presentations.
Exactly like our friend Andrew Ng, man. He's like, back then I was doing cool marketing stuff. Now I'm just staring at spreadsheets all day. But it's the natural evolution.
Yeah, exactly right. And I was really unhappy with it. And then I got into martial arts that way. And I went to a white collar boxing match and bought a table, and I was talking shit, drinking to my mates. I was like, these guys, I'd whip all their asses, And one of the guys at the table took me to a local gym like the next week, and signed me up for white collar, and I did that, lost a bunch of weight for that, and then I just got really hooked on the whole fitness and getting back in shape and the discipline thing for it, and that's Then I left my own company, resigned as managing director of my own business, and was just a shareholder, and that's when I started Ritual. And we were really like, being strategic and trying to build the best product. We were trying to build like the Apple of gyms.
Right.
We were that cocky, at least it had to be perfect. And then, this pandemic hit, and our franchises and our gyms, we were all new. And so you go from, a couple $100,000 a month in revenue to zero. But it's a new gym. You got, you still got a landlord. The franchisees may have debt that they funded with, and it just was too much.
How did F45 still remain till this day? Is it just deeper pockets?
Well, they're not what they used to be. I mean, they're if you research what happened to them, there's lawsuits and scandals, and franchisees basically. Listen, I know a lot of those guys, and I'm just going on what's in the news, but we're saying, what they were promised and what they got. When you run a franchise, it's very litigious. It's a huge amount of liability if you're the franchisor, if it's your business.
Yeah.
Because what I'm saying to you is, all right, Patrick, here, this business works. Here is the disclosure of what it can do financially. This is what's proven other gyms can do. And this is what we're going to give you. Here's the support we're going to give you. Here's how we're going to help you be successful. And so you as an entrepreneur, you go, well, I can go invent something new and start my own thing, or just give these guys some money, and I've got the brand, and they're going to support me, and it's proven it'll work. And a lot of times in franchising, it's a lot rosier on the spreadsheet than it is in reality.
Yes.
So they had a mass exodus of franchises and lawsuits and stuff like that, and stock crashed, and like Mark Wahlberg is the only person who really got paid out of this, because he was their big investor. Yeah, and he was a big investor. He got paid. But very few other people along the way made anything about it. But they're still around, and I know a lot of the franchise owners, and they have cool communities, and I've never hated on them. I just wanted to be bigger and better than them at the time.
Is the key to the success the community that you have built?
First of all, it's the culture. Like what is the culture and ethos of the people in the gym? That's the very first thing, because that's what attracts the community. So like if you have a service first, like our culture was like the highest level of service, pure facts, no pseudo BS, no bro science. It was all science-based, real stuff with like the best customer service we could give. Like, and treat people with respect and treat them like adults and educate them along the way instead of just saying, okay, do this, stop, watch, like educate them.
But do you also charge a premium to kind of like filter the customers in a way?
We were, when we opened our first outlet, because there was no real, the model was so unique and the industry was super young. In Singapore, it almost didn't exist. We were very expensive. we were very expensive. And that was by design. It was like, this may or may not work, this experiment we're doing. And we were like, this is 15, 16 years ago. We were like, $369 to $399 a month.
Whoa!
For a gym membership. But we were Raffles Place.
Spot, man.
So and it was, so our model was in and out in 30 minutes. And so it was the perfect place for bankers and lawyers to come in. They got to be in a hurry and get the workout in, and so it really worked there, and it allowed us to prove the model. And then as we expanded, we moderated the prices to reasonable levels. We had such high service levels because I was just like, if we're going to be this expensive, it has to be the best teams and the best culture in the world. And when you have that culture that's solidified and the people really believe in it, then the community is attracted to that.
Eventually, it kind of becomes like a PR site for all the ballers,
Yeah.
It's a small little community.
Yeah. And every gym has its different ethos and its different vibe and its feel. And but if you're a meathead gym, you will attract meatheads. If you're a founder and your trainers and all, they're all steroided up and cargo shorts and jacked in tight Baby Gap t-shirts. Well, guess who's going to be attracted to that? People who want to be that.
So after you exit Ritual, then the other franchise, they are just like running by themselves.
Yeah.
You have no like relation with.
They have relationships, but no, I'm not involved in any way, shape, or form. The Ritual thing, because our story was wild. We were the pretty girl at the dance, and people were throwing money at us. And so for years, we took no institutional money. We had all of the VCs and private equities coming to us, like literally, like leaving name cards at the front desk reception. Can you tell the CEO to call me?
Whoa!
And we intentionally didn't take their money. We did. It was all our money, friends and family, and a few clients who really liked us along the way. And we were just taking small, as just enough to grow. And because I didn't want to give up control, and because we knew we had something special, we were waiting it out. And then we were ready to do this big raise, and I had negotiated a massive first round of funding.
20 million.
Yeah.
Right. So Straits Time, man.
So yeah, correct.
Insane. From China
from Japanese.
Japanese company. Yeah.
And it was like a 9-month deal I worked on, and they were scheduled to fly in April 2020 to the opening of our Orchard Road branch.
Bloody hell, March circuit breaker.
Yeah. They were scheduled to fly in to sign the term sheet, and we were launching a new gym, and we were going to have this massive thing. Some guy you may know named Zushan was going to DJ, and it was going to be a wild party. It was celebrities, media, and it was going to be our big hey, F45, we're coming after you. Yeah. And then the world fell apart. Oh. And we went from being the pretty girl at the dance who everyone was throwing money at to, I think I pitched like 60, 70 times, and no one would touch us.
Damn.
No one was going to invest in retail brick and mortar fitness that's got operations all around the world. Even after the pandemic, like no one was like, no, that's not touching that.
For such a successful gym, right? 14 years, right? And one pandemic, right? And essentially the pandemic the main impact only is 1 year. And then precautionary measures were done additional 1 more year. That's why it's 2 years, right? But technically it's only 1 year. but it can wreck a 14-year.
Oh yeah, landlords don't go away, staff don't go away, and you go from, making a few $100,000 a month, say $500,000-$600,000 a month,
What the
profitable,
fuck,
yeah,
dude?
to zero,
Yeah.
and then sure you got some help
Reserves.
early on from relief and all that, but it didn't scratch the surface of what we were really losing.
Yeah.
We had a full tech team building tech products in multiple languages. We had like 6 apps and all, and so the whole it got very big very quick. And it just got to a point of looking at it going like, even if we can survive this, it'll take years to the shape of the company was just so bad and so ugly by the time and by the time it started, and it never, what everyone expected was after COVID, it's going to bounce right back. And for restaurants, it didn't just bounce back, it bounced bigger, right? But for anything else, there was this weird shift that I didn't see coming. I was all over Business Times saying like, this is what's going to happen after the pandemic's over, and it's still not the same.
Yeah.
Because a couple of things happened. One is like people learned how to work out at home by themselves.
Oh.
2, no one. So we were like we're next to the office. You can come over to the office in your business shirt and we'll give you clothes. You don't have to trade with shoes.
Now everything work from home.
Yeah. And so they come, and it was a great value proposition for them because they sneak from the office, hang their stuff in the locker, charge their phone in the locker, take a shower, put the clothes back on, and they're right back in the office. And now you're working from home. Maybe you're in the office 2 days a week, 3 days a week. Are you going to spend a bunch of money for a gym membership next to your office?
Yeah.
When you've got a home gym, there's a gym next to your office you can go to, and so the whole landscape changed significantly.
Yeah.
So it was a real slow trickle back to growth, and we were expecting to go right back up, and it was really slow, and we just didn't have the runway.
Same for clubbing, people learn how to live without clubbing.
People, yeah, that's the other thing. People got comfortable staying at home, and we're seeing it now big time in nightlife. It's still and I look at my friends and I, okay, sure, age is part of it, but we used to go out every weekend.
Yeah. Where's the people now?
Yeah, and now if I have to go out, I'm annoyed. Fine, because my friend's doing it, I'll go support him. And it's really changed. People got really comfortable being at home.
Yeah.
And the consumer behavior really, really changed around fitness for a while.
Are there no businesses in the world that is not one disaster away from complete failure?
Every business, especially, unless you are
mega
legacy, was one disaster and a sneeze away from collapse. It's a very that's why entrepreneurship is a wild thing, and if it's a mental health crisis one day, the next one day is great, the next hour is a disaster, and it's just one crisis management to one success, and then over time you find yourself you have a success and you don't even feel it.
Yeah.
Because you're just so accustomed to the cycle.
Yeah.
And
oh my God, I feel you, man.
Yeah, and so you meet an entrepreneur and they've been successful and they've sold their company and they've exited, and you go, hey man, hey, congratulations, blah, 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 I love your business.
Nothing.
They're dead in the eyes. You know what I mean? Yeah.
IPO for millions.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, and if they were the one who built it and got it there, they need therapy. It's really brutal. It's really bad. It's really hard on your mental health. It's really it's really something, because it's a big part of you.
So after the end of ritual, you have to find a job, right?
Yeah.
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 So now you go back to working for someone.
Yeah. So I didn't know what to do, and so I have run my own business, for 20 years, right? And that, I remember I did a pitch to it was Sequoia Capital. And we were talking about ritual years ago, and I'm in their boardroom, and I had the man bun and the tattoos, and what a cock. and I'm pitching to these guys who were kings of Silicon Valley, and so they asked the background, the slide, I told the background, and he goes, "Wow, you've done a lot. You are absolutely unemployable now, right?" And I went, "Huh?" And it hit me, and I'll never forget that quote. And it hit me. It was yeah, who's going to hire? No one wants you to work for them. You've been a CEO, you've done this thing, you're not going to take instructions, and they're not going to want it. And I remember walking out of that huh, shit, he might be right. And And so I went to the land of what failed entrepreneurs do and became a management consultant. And so I worked for a really great firm. Like I really liked them, and I'm a negotiation consultant.
Yeah, so our question is, how the hell do you even sign up for a job to be a professional negotiator?
Yeah.
Sounds like some CIA shit.
So you one like you have to have a lot of experience. You have to have seen like I've seen the inside and outsides of a lot of deals on both sides, good deals, bad deals, and I what I found this company as a customer a few years back, and I went to one of their training things to like learn how to negotiate better, and I walked in that as a seasoned entrepreneur, like I know what I'm doing, and I've done all these deals, I know it, and I walked out of there truly humbled, realizing there was like a 4-day seminar. I walked out going like, I don't know anything about negotiation. I was fascinated with it. Like they taught me so much, and I realized there's this whole deep, dark art of negotiation. Like that's the best 4 days of education I've received in my whole life.
Wow.
It blew my mind that much, and then I started seeing the impact of it, and it was so powerful to me that I sent like 4 or 5 of my guys to it afterwards, and it's expensive. It was an expensive seminar, a workshop, and that's how much I believed in it. And like we got a return on investment immediately, and we learned how to unlock.
Wait, this is after the ritual days?
Just after. So I
2024.
Towards the end of ritual, I went and took over CEO of this small venture studio, and that was struggling. It was failing at the time, and I came in to help out. And do you remember ThriveX, the ice breath? So I built that. That was out of that venture studio, and a couple other things. And that's when I went to the workshop and did it for that. And then then I'm hadn't worked in months, and which was great at first. Was recovering from the whole ritual experience, and I'm like realized like all I've done for 8 hours a day for the past 6 months is play guitar. Like, I should probably like figure something out. Like so I followed this company for a while afterwards because I really liked what they did.
Right.
And then I just saw a random like posting for this senior consultant gig. So I reached out and then I still didn't know anything about negotiating. And so then like the process of going to work for them is intense. It's the most intense thing you could imagine. Their standards are so high, and their insistence on quality and being the best in the world at what they do is at the most insane high level.
What does it require from you?
So they basically it's a master's degree in negotiating in the first few months of working for them.
Wow.
You're not doing anything. You're not working on any cases. You're not in charge. You are just learning and following and and then there's rigorous tests along the way. And at the end of your induction process, there's a it's do or die moment with you and and the person who makes the decision.
Oh, damn.
And if you don't make it, you're done. And it was so high pressure. But I really liked everything about the business, and it's been a very good fit for me. Like I'm a weirdo with a weird background and tattoos and all. And, he's a DJ, he used to be a fighter. Like I don't fit the mold for this. And they really welcomed me with open arms, and I thoroughly enjoy the work. So it was a good fit for me. And
when you went to the 4-day course, right, what was the thing that like blew your mind by being a business person for over 20 years?
Watching how I behave. So they record you in this workshop. So so you do a bunch of mock negotiations, and then it's recorded.
Right.
And then you in front of the other delegates and small groups of people, it's like 8 people, and then you watch your videos back, and you get critiqued by the
your body language, everything.
Yeah, and you realize the nonverbal cue. It looks so like they're trained negotiators will learn. Will understand, if you're bluffing or not, like by the things that you say and the things that you do.
What the hell?
And so they train you, 1, how to prevent yourself from doing that, and 2, how to look for it. So if you're negotiating, and it's a big deal, a multi-million-dollar deal, and party A wants this and party B wants this, and they teach you how to protect yourself from those from those mistakes. But also it was just a incredibly good education on like where negotiations go wrong and where people fail and how people get so focused on like a price point, and the best businesses and the best deals in the world come together and they look for more value, and they try to unlock value in deals instead of just like I get my best price. Like it's not about beating the other person up. It's about transparency and a win-win, and like yeah. So every culture does have a different style, and it does impact. It actually impacts the outcome of a lot of negotiations. Like if you have a very hardline aggressive culture versus say a Southeast Asian country that's more hospitable and meek and all that, like they typically don't do as well. So it's a big consideration that companies should be looking out for.
Okay, that's interesting. That's very cool.
So you have to kind of like make a conscious effort to kind of adjust your, when from country to country.
Yeah, very much so.
And then now, maybe you can share with us some of the biggest deal story that you can share that's not classified.
Yeah, that's not under like NDA or something.
Like I first of all, I'm fairly new to this firm, but it's been around for a long time. It's been around since the 90s.
So what does the firm do? They help company A and B negotiate.
Yeah. So a couple of things. So one is the company started off doing training people how to negotiate, and so that's how the beginnings were like. Hence the workshop I went into was the 20-year later version of that, and it's a work of art. This workshop they deliver, and so it'd be like realizing that most people don't know what they're doing. So yeah, we'll come in. Sure, big multinational company, give us your procurement people, and we'll train them, and you'll get better results because of it.
Right.
And that was the core business for a long time, and then that evolved into actual project consulting.
Oh, they supply people.
Yeah, so it can be a buyer or seller. It can be FMCG or energy or pharma, and they want to negotiate a 4.5% price increase around the world. Those are hard negotiations, and there's a lot at stake. So a situation like that, we will get involved with either side, depending on who calls us to help strategize that negotiation for the best result. And it's really like it's cool work. It's because if you're in a company and you're procurement or you're the director or whatever, you have this very myopic view of the situation, and you have just your objective in mind. And so we kind of come in with this whole outlook of like, all right, we get a lay of the land, and we spend oftentimes months on the project. Yeah, and every possible outcome is strategized. And we teach them like, this is how you're going to negotiate this deal. Wow. and work with them on getting the best deal possible. And so that's the other big part of the business that we do. And that's so we've got, I don't know, there's like from payment terms to how many shelf spaces do we get? How many promotions are you going to run for us? How many what's the deal tenure? Like there's a lot more variables at play, which makes it for the negotiator who's having to do it. There's a lot to consider.
What's your favorite negotiation tip or trick?
Do your research, man. Prepare. Like it's where the more you prepare, the better your outcome.
Right.
The more research, the more real preparation you do, and it's not about just collecting information. It's about like really sitting and like really doing your homework. Go talk to people, get out there, figure out what's going on. You'll be surprised like how much information you can get by just having coffee with people who are connected to the party in some way that you want to. And so the more you prepare, the more effort you put in that, the smoother the negotiation will be and the better results you will get. And that is pretty much a universal truth. And you won't get stuck with surprise. And the other thing I say is like, know your floor. I will not, or your ceiling. I will not pay more than this. This is my walkaway point. This is, I will not take less than this. This is my walkaway point. And you have to know what that is before you go in, agree to it yourself, and never break it.
Right.
Because then you're in regret or you're going to lose money on something. Like know it before you go in there, because remember the days of eBay?
Oh yeah.
So, you're going to bid on this lovely bottle of Tangling gin and you make your bid on it. and you put your price, and then you're going to get it. And then before the auction ends, you get an email, you've been outbid.
Oh.
And then you get competitive, and you end up spending more money for the thing that you were bidding on than you ever wanted to.
Yes.
Because you didn't agree with yourself what your maximum value you were going to pay for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a lot of, that's where buyer's remorse comes in,
So
and
negotiation is a lot about like emotional self-control.
100%. Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah. 100%. 100%. And these workshops that we teach, we call them behavioral change workshops, because it's not a seminar what we put you through. Right. It's intense. Like it's intense. You're being scrutinized on video, and
why you move this way when
and you're realizing like how bad you are at this. And and a lot of things we try to teach people do is like, if you do the homework and you have your strategy and you have your plan and you stick to it, then you're allowed to focus on the other party and observe what they're doing and hear what they're saying and look at their patterns and all that, right? Because most people, they don't do the research.
So focus on their own
exactly. So they're just thinking about their anxiety and what if I don't get this deal and how about and so that's a huge part of what we do is like you said, control your emotions and learn to be confident and calm in doing that. But you can't be confident and calm unless you've done that 90% of preparation. Otherwise, it's hopes and prayers, baby. That's what most people are.
Is this something
doing.
that AI can replace?
No.
Right.
AI will be able to assist with it, but
with the data collection.
Yeah, but like the negotiating is a very human thing.
Right.
And in some cases, we're seeing it now. Like there will be, like if it's for something that is there's plenty of options, like a commodity of some sort. AI could come in, source the best deal, and negotiate, blah blah blah, and you just key in, your break points are I'm going to do less than, and it take care of it for you.
Right.
But that's not really negotiating. That's bidding, and that's not it. But like negotiations are complex, and they're a very human thing. It's going to be quite a while. We're going to need general intelligence, from it before that could happen. And even then, it's a very human thing.